Hi, I'm Carrie Johnson, and I'm here with TDZdaily.com with my new web series, Carrie Talks. I'm going to be talking to you about film, TV, and all things entertainment from someone who's not a critic, but just a lover of film. So here's my first episode, and I'm going to be discussing lead male actor for the Oscars. So my top 3 contenders are Chiwetel from 12 Years a Slave, Matthew McConaughey with the Dallas Buyers Club, and Leonardo DiCaprio for Wolf of Wall Street. So before I begin again, I just have to say that, we're comparing apples to apples here. All of these actors are just insane. They're incredible, and they all deserve an award. Obviously, they all can't, and that's good. But if this was another year, I really do think that they would all actually be in the running to win the Oscar. It's just such a tough year because the talent is so strong. So what I'm going to use today to kind of separate my winners from my losers is I'm going to just base it upon how someone took a role and where they went with it, and kind of like the range of emotion that they took the audience through, because I really do think that that's what makes a good actor such a good actor, is what journey they take us on with them. And the interesting thing is that all these stories are based, around true characters, real life stories. So it's just interesting that it turned out that way. Okay, so to get into it, I'm going to talk about Chiwetel first for 12 Years a Slave. So, this movie is just so good. And obviously people are loving it, well deserved, because it really is incredible. I think that with a movie like this, is a lot of other people would just maybe think that because it's the most kind of honest, and it's definitely the most drama-filled story of the 3, because it's so honest and almost so disturbing to watch, and it's such a hard story to tell because of the issue of slavery, and it's nothing that people are comfortable with, especially watching. But I think that people really do think that that kind of is the stepping stone for who should win the Oscar, because it's such an unfriendly character to have to play. And so with that, Chiwetel is flawless. His acting ability for this character was spot on perfection. From the very beginning, we are immediately with him in his journey, feeling for him, just feeling oppressed with him, and going through his stages of depression while he's dealing with all of this. And for my personal argument alone, that's actually why, though, I'm not going to nominate him for my winner for the Oscar. Not that anyone's listening to me, but just my opinion, I'm not going to let him win this Oscar, not for his own faults, but based around the actual character that he was given to play. I think that, and this is brutal, again, I'm nitpicking on this one because I'm trying to figure out who should win of the best. And with 12 Years a Slave, as moving and emotional and raw and beautiful as it was, the levels kind of stayed here for me. I think that when you start off a movie so strong like that, and you're immediately enthralled in all this raw emotion, there's kind of nowhere else to go. As far as acting, he played a beautiful, perfect role of oppression, of slavery, and how disgusting that whole ordeal is. But his character kind of stayed there. It's not until, the last very few minutes of the movie that we kind of get to see any redemption from his character. And again, that's not his fault. That's just kind of the nature of that film. So then moving on to Matthew McConaughey's role for the Dallas Buyers Club, I actually almost compare it really similar to 12 Years a Slave, for the reason that I don't really think that their characters were allowed to move. McConaughey physically changed his whole appearance for the role, and I do think that that plays a part of your acting, because he is fully submerged into this character, mind, body, spirit, and it definitely comes through in the role. But, and I do have some other issues actually with this movie. It wasn't my favorite of the year, and I could be the only one who feels that way. But my only drawback with McConaughey for this film is his character wasn't allowed to breathe. There was no freedom, I didn't feel like, or for, creative movement for him as an actor. He comes into this film straight from the bat, and he has AIDS from the very beginning. So immediately we're put into this character who's bitter and angry and, just has this kind of like bad taste in your mouth of a person because you're watching him handle the situation in such a poor way. The Dallas Buyers Club, you know, it kind of doesn't have anywhere to go because we're kind of with him and he's angry and disgruntled, and then all of a sudden he turns, you know, into a hero. And that's good because, you know, now it's Matthew McConaughey, Dallas Buyers Club, and you see a little bit of growth with his character. And then it just kind of, for me, kind of just hit around here. You know, he obviously handles his illness in a good way, but as a character, it just was kind of around here for me. And then I felt like the movie had an awkward ending, so then you just kind of don't really see much of what I know McConaughey is capable, especially in this role. So take those two movies and compare it to The Wolf of Wall Street. So, I mean, I just think a feat of greatness by DiCaprio, because Wolf of Wall Street is such a long movie. I mean, he's literally pulling a separate Titanic, and it's such a long movie that it actually, I think, works against him as far as acting, because he has to be so on that we're with him the entire time. So start the movie off for 2+ hours, almost 2.5 hours. We are loving his character. You know, Jordan, we're with him. Wolf of Wall Street, we're with Robin Hood. You know, we're saving, we're stealing. And I mean, me and Jonah Hill, all the actors in the movie, I'm right there with them. And I think it's interesting because the actors are literally mirroring the audience while you're watching this, because we're all buying and believing anything that DiCaprio character says. We just believe it and we want it and we're loving the lifestyle. I'm cheering him on. He's cheating on his wife. He's doing drugs with hookers, just being the worst human, stealing, robbing, and I'm loving it. I want to be there with his character and I'm invested in what he's doing, and I think it's great. So take that into consideration, that you spend this whole time, you know, longer than most movies are, loving a character. And in one scene, DiCaprio literally flips it in a total 360 on end. And now this character that I've grown to love, I think he's disgusting and I hate him. I now view him in a completely different way, even though his character is someone that I already grew to love in one time period. So for an actor to take you from loving him to hating him with such a long period of time, to me, it's just unbelievable and just incomparable to the others. It's similar to what McConaughey did for Dallas Buyers Club, because you kind of go from not liking him to supporting him. But the movie is so short, it wasn't the freedom to really elaborate those emotions and how I feel for a character. So take Wolf of Wall Street, I'm invested and I love him as a character, and then in one scene, I despise him, and people don't understand how much talent that takes from DiCaprio, but to me it was just brilliant. And for that factor alone, because he had to go from such a wide range of emotion, from happiness, partying, friends, family, wives, divorce, drugs, and now he's not just doing drugs, but now he's abusing them, and now he's abusive to his wife. And so to watch someone have to go through all of those things, Oscar worthy to me. And I really hope he wins, because I'm a DiCaprio fan, but I really do think he pushed it out this year with Wolf of Wall Street. And again, all the other ones were amazing as well, but I really do think that this should be DiCaprio's year. It was just a phenomenal movie to me. I mean, I could go on and on about it, but I won't. So yeah, so those are my reasons for why I think Leonardo DiCaprio should win for The Wolf of Wall Street for the Oscar for lead male actor. So that's it for my first episode. I'm Carrie Johnson, and you've been watching this on TDZdaily.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, push like or dislike, give us a follow on Twitter at TDZdaily, and talk to me about this episode using the hashtag Carrie Talks.